My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and episode 14 on our Japanese themed map, the Gorges of Shikoku. Now during the outro of episode 13 when we were sailing over to the oil well, I forgot to pause the date progression, the epoch progression. And during the outro we did unlock another locomotive, which was the Russian Class S, which does look to be a decent upgrade on the Class SCH that we unlocked in the previous episode. What I've done, just to have a quick look at it, is our stone freight line that comes out into Uejima, hauling the stone that gets hauled off into the brickworks. I have replaced the SCH on that line with the Class S. That has allowed me to essentially double the length of the consist. So rather than having 4 trains now running on that line, I have scrapped one of the trains, reduced it back to 3 trains on the line, but each with a consist that is twice as long, near enough, as it was previously. So we're keeping up the throughput amount due to the increased consist size, even though we're now only running 3 trains. They also seem to be a little bit more powerful. They're getting up to speed a lot easier and a lot faster than the Russian Class SCH were doing, so it has been a nice improvement. Hopefully we'll see one of those trains pass by in a few minutes here as we look down in towards Uejima and the freight exchange and the big cargo hub that we have down there. Okay, it doesn't look like anything is on the way. Oh no, something is making its way towards us right now, as we can see, but that looks like one of the brick freight trains rather than the stone freight trains. So we're not going to see the Class S come by anytime soon, unless one surprises me and comes over our left shoulder on its way into Uejima. And I tell a lie, that is indeed a stone freight train. Or is it the machinery train? I think that's the machinery train. Nope, that is the stone train. It's hard to tell what those wagons were from a distance. So there we go, there's the Class S with the extended consist, as we can see. So we're keeping the same throughput in terms of how many goods we're taking. In fact, we've improved it slightly, but the frequency may have dropped due to the fact we now only have 3 trains coming down here rather than 4, but that's fine. Let's bring up the user interface. We've tipped over 100 million, as we can see, so that's always a nice positive milestone. We have the epoch set to 1/2 speed. And now that we're in 1910, I think we will keep it at 1/2 speed, just so we get a little bit more out of this, the golden age of steam. Before we progress on with further expansion, I think it's probably worthwhile going through and upgrading some of our other freight trains with the new locomotive. And the ones I'm looking at in particular are the machinery freight trains, the fuel freight train, the iron ore freight train and the coal freight train. So we'll do them one at a time, and we'll start with the machinery freight train. So at the moment we have a double-headed Class SCH. If we replace that double header with a single Class S, let's have a look at the difference here in terms of its power. So it's looking up to its top speed, and it's even faster. It's faster on a medium gradient as well, as we can see, by 6 miles per hour, although it does take a little bit longer, an extra kilometre to get up to that speed. However, given the distance that this train is running, it's got plenty of time to hit that top speed, so I'm willing to go ahead and go with a single-headed train for this, and that's all going to cost us 460,000 to do this change, so we'll do it straight away. There we go. The other ones we want to look at were the fuel freight trains, and I think we'll do exactly the same thing here. We'll swap the double header for a single Class S, like so. And then we want to look at the iron ore freight train. So let's have a look at that now. I mean, these are still running the Class OB, so these are going to get a beastie upgrade. The top speed here, 31 miles an hour, that's going to jump up quite considerably. So let's go for the Class S. We also need get my words out. We also need to upgrade the consist as well. So if we go for the new gondolas with a higher speed, go for the roughly iron ore colour. And if we went for a similar capacity, 84, so we can get exactly the same capacity in fact, 50, 50 and 33, 31, 31 and 21, so huge difference there. So I dare say it's worthwhile. In fact, what we'll do is we'll first of all match the two trains up in terms of locomotive and consist. And if we see here, huge difference. Now we'll swap that for the Class S. We don't want it coloured in like that, however. Have it in its default colours. And then go back to our cargo wagons, and we can see how much extra gondolas we can add on here before it becomes too much of a detriment to the train's performance. So it still gets up to top speed, obviously a little bit longer, 1.5 kilometres against just under 1 kilometre, so about an extra 500 or 600 metres. However, it's not hitting its high speed on the medium gradients. What if we just drop one of them off, or two of those off, and have 3 extras? There we go, 48 I should say, miles per hour is a decent compromise. So we'll swap that out as well. The last one we wanted to do was the coal freight train as well, so let's find that over here. As we can see, this is a double header Class SCH, so just for clarification we'll swap it and do a side-by-side comparison. 50, 48 and 26, so yeah, faster, or it can reach higher speeds, but it does take longer to get up to its highest speeds, although it gets up to its high speed on the flat a lot quicker. As we can see, 96 seconds versus 92, but on a medium grade it struggles a little bit more, 4 minutes versus 6 minutes. However, it is going an extra 9 miles per hour faster, so that's worth factoring in. Either way, it's a worthwhile investment. I think 2.3 million. So there we go. I don't know what I did there. Let's just get rid of that one, shall we? There we go. I must have pressed the down arrow on the train edit window accidentally. Okay, so with a handful of our trains now upgraded, with increased consists and more powerful and faster locomotives, we can press on with some expansion. And what I like to do today is start heading to the north from the town of Mima, which looks like it will serve as a pretty decent passenger interchange sort of station here, because it's on the main line towards Uejima and Yawatahama, and from here we can go up to Futana, Kaihoku, Izumi and Matsuno. So I think that's what we'll make a start on in this episode. So what we're going to do first of all is increase the size of the station at Mima in terms of platforms and tracks. So let's get that done. We don't need to electrify at this point, so we'll just stick with the bog standard non-electrified rails for now. And then we want to get the platforms, and we want the passenger platforms. Is that a passenger platform? I think so. Now, given that last time I tried to use this, I made a mess of trying to put the underpass on these platforms by not actually selecting the underpass. Let's see if it will actually work now. Yes, it will. So it was just me clicking the wrong thing and being a little bit of an idiot. We'll also go for the JNR style roof on this platform, like so. And we want one more track along here, so we're going to have 3 platforms at this station from here on out. One is going to head off to Izumimachi, one is going to go to Sayo, and one is going to do our northern line up towards Futana. So the next thing we need to do then is get the tracks properly set up and connected. So what we're going to do first of all is, if we can get a quick, I say quick, I don't mean quick in terms of speed, but we can't do it anyway because of the excessive curvature. So as soon as this train has arrived on the platform, we'll just rework this little stretch of track right here. There we go. We'll pause it so they don't complain too vocally about this. And now we'll give it a new series of tracks, and we've gone electrified there. Well, since we've started, we may as well keep it. We don't have any electric trains available to us at this time, so it is largely wasted, but at least it's there ready for when we do get electrification on our lines. Well, let's just have a crossover there, and then could we also cross over this way across that crossover? Yes, we can. And we'll have, do we need a double slip switch? Let me just think about that. No, we do not. Yeah, we might do. We'll put one in just in case. So with that being done, now we can just put a couple of signals in for this new improved junction. And which ones shall we use this time? A distant signal, no. Let's go for an on-site signal just to mix it up just a little. And we're going to have one there. And then we'll have one back here, which is going to be a clearing signal for the junction. We may as well put another one there as well. And then we want some two-way signals before the new diamond. So a two-way, and a two-way. So that's that side all taken care of. Now we need to do something similar over here, which should be a lot easier. And in fact, we can do a nice long approach to the station here. So again, we'll put down the tracks. Yes, it's going to have catenary. In fact, we'll get rid of the catenary. Since we're now aware of it, we'll get rid of it. I was just too lazy to bother the first time around. And then this can come in. And this is going to have a nice, fast approach, 75 miles per hour. And then it's going to have a decent speed on the crossing over. 60 miles per hour or 61 looks to be the slowest point at any point on that junction. And then can we bring this over here somewhere? 56 is the slowest speed we achieve there, so that's okay. We'll set that to a double slip switch like we did on the opposite side. And then we'll put the signals in, and we can also restart the game progression. There's no point keeping it paused anymore. So first of all, let's put our stopping or our two-way signals in on approach leaving the station like that. And then we can put our one-way signals in, one just before the whole junction setup, and we'll put another one here which is going to act as the clearing signal. I'm just going to quickly run the smoothing tool over this terrain here just to take out the worst excess from the modification the game just made there when we put the new tracks in. Let's just increase the brush size a little. In fact, let's just whack it all the way up. Go big or go home. There we go. Do the same on this side as well. So now we can actually assign, what do we have here? JGR 462 class 8900 screw coupler and the JGR 462 class 8900 with a knuckle coupler. So identical trains, it's just the coupling mechanic that varies here, which has no impact on anything within the game, but it's nice to see the two varieties being replicated here. Before we have a look at those, let's just quickly adjust these platforms at this station. So rather than these two sharing a platform, they can now have their own separate platforms. And we'll have the Mima to Izumi Marchi shuttle now operate from platform 2. So all the passengers are going to have to make use of our lovely new underpass that we've just constructed for them. And they'll be happy enough with that. So now we want to take our passenger line up here, heading towards Futana, and then obviously on towards Kaihoku, Matsuno and Izumi. So let's do that, and we'll start by putting down our passenger station for the town of Futana. Let's just get rid of that road, we don't need that. And let's just smooth, in fact let's flatten it entirely. Let's just flatten that out. Gonna cost a lot of money, but as we can see we have plenty available, so that's all fine. And that's just going to give us a nice large flat area for us to work with when it comes to building our train lines and our rail station. Just get rid of some of that ugliness just there as much as we can. There we go. Okay, so now we can put down our station. Here we shall have, we'll go for 2 tracks. We'll not have catenary, and we'll go for 320 meters, and we'll put the station right there. Lovely. That's given itself the correct or the appropriate name of just Futana. No fancy additions to that required. And we'll connect it in with a road. Get rid of that little stubby road there that we don't need. And then we can start building our tracks. Now we're going to have to deal with this terrain painted river, so we can't just bridge straight over. We're going to have to build a manual bridge at this point. Although, saying that, I think the best option is going to be just to curve away and follow the contours of the land. It's going to give us a higher speed, I think. Otherwise, getting up to the height of a bridge in this short distance is going to cause too much aggravation for our locomotives. So if we can keep this around about 50 miles an hour the entire way as a minimum, which we can, that's going to be a more suitable option, I should think. And provided we can get a diamond in here without any dramas, I think we're going to be good. Now we're going to have a fairly slow diamond because we are already on a bend, but that's fine. There we go. So now, can we straighten that out without clipping the road? We can. We do get close to the road, but that's no problem. And now, which way do we want to head? I think we want to head off to the right. So we're going to skirt this little lake, bypass around the side of the farm, and then aim to head in around about here. Because here we have a large open space for us to put in a junction, and it gives us a decent space between this junction and this new junction that we're going to put in. In fact, I dare say we can come back as far as here and take our lines off nice and straight. Make sure we have a decent looking overlap on the junction, which we do not. That looks a lot better. In fact, just set that back to normal, and we'll just do it via the gradient selection tool. I think that could come up just a little. And I think that is, yep, that's what we're looking for. Can we then squeeze in one alongside from the same point? Where's our switch? There it is. Yes, we can. And that's given a nice overlap as well. So as I said, we've got a nice buffer between this junction and the junction just behind us. So no concerns about trains tripping over themselves as they're waiting to use the junction. And now we can take that option off and have the game just set the best gradient for us. In fact, let's go from the inside, because if the inside track is 75, then we can guarantee that the outermost track is also going to be 75. Make sure we select a tunnel texture, and today we're going to go for tunnel type 4 just to be a little bit mental. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. So then we'll just duplicate this track, or double it up rather, like that. And then it's a case of coming up here, around the farm, around the lake, and then into our tracks over there. So we'll get this done nice and quickly. As we can see, we've unlocked some extra or some newer bridges right here. And we can now upgrade to iron bridges, which give us a much higher speed for our trains, so we shall do that. So at some point we might want to go through and our stone bridges, get them upgraded to the iron bridge to future-proof them all. But for now I think we're going to be fine. Instead, what we're going to do is just focus on getting this line connected up. Okay, so we've met up with the other track. We have a little bit of slowdown here, so we might want to rework this in future. But for now, it's going to do a job. It's going to be fine, so we'll just go with it. And there we go. We now have a passenger connection up to the town of Futana from Mima. So at this point, I don't think there's anything... In fact, no, we haven't. Oh, you idiot. I've done that backwards, haven't I? This needs to come into this line. Well, we'll keep that because we might want to have one going down to Sayo at some point. But that's not what I was wanting to do here, so we're going to have to squeeze a slow junction in, or a slow bend in at this point. And they're 29 miles per hour. That is not great, but it's going to do a job. New trucks, the Benz tarpaulin truck and Benz truck with side stakes, so we can upgrade our freight wagons or our freight trucks at some point in the near future as well. Right, now we've got the connection that we were looking for, finally. And we can put some signals in now to protect these new junctions. So we want one there and one there. No room for any blocks in this little bit here. One on the approach, although that's overlapping that track. So what we'll do is we'll have a little short signal there and get rid of that one. In fact, we'll get rid of that one as well, and we'll move those back, and that can be the clearing signal for this junction as well. Clearing signal down here. We can put a block in there. We need a stopping signal for this junction there and there. A clearing signal, well, we can use that one, and we can fit a clearing signal in here. And we want a stopping one on approach, and we have that signal there which can act as clearing for this junction. Not that I can see anything coming down here for the foreseeable future, because what I wanted to do was get into Mima, not into Sayo. But there you go, lesson learned. So what I'll do now is just quickly go ahead, put all these signals in along this new line, give us some nice block spacing, and then we'll pick it up once these signals are done. Okay, so that's the new line all signaled up and should be working correctly. Let's go ahead and set up the new line. So we're going from the station at Mima up to Futana. We've elected for platform 3, which is a spare platform, so we'll stick with that. We're obviously taking the correct way up here. And then over at Futana, we've gone for platform number 2. Doesn't matter which, neither platform was in use when we set this up, so that's fine. And this will be the Mima to Futana, or shuttle service, I should say. Shuttle service Mima. In fact, this will be our northern shuttle service for Mima. So breaking the naming convention a little bit there, but as I alluded to when I was setting all the passenger lines up, the shuttle service naming system was a temporary placeholder for the lines, and they were going to be changed around at some point in the future, so we may as well start that now. Just do some smoothie over here just to take the edge off of any terraforming that's occurred when we put the tracks down, and I think we're good to go. We can go ahead and purchase our first train to run on this northern shuttle service, and we'll use our passenger depot. In fact, what I'm going to do, can we rename this at all? Yes, we can. So this is our passenger train depot, or PAX train depot, and this one we shall rename to our cargo or freight train depot. There we go. And these are the only depots we're going to have on the map, one for passengers and one for freight, clearly. So let's go ahead and purchase our train. Well, at the minute, most of our passenger trains are running the JNR class 5500. We've unlocked the JGR 462 class 8900, so let's have a look at this one. Nice speed, decent power. Tractive effort is lacking, but I don't think that matters for a passenger train. As you can see, this was imported from Alco and towed the first limited express service in Japan, so it seems like an ideal train for us to use for our northern service. So we'll go for one of those. in terms of our wagons. We have the Koha 6500 screw or knuckle coupler, we have the Putilov, and we also have the Suburban. And looking at the speed, that's got more capacity, but this has got much better speed, so we are going to go for the Suburban, and we'll colour it. Was it that colour there? That burgundy sort of colour? I think it was. And we'll just have 2 for the time being. What's that doing on its speed? That's pretty good. So we'll purchase that. Head back over towards Mima so we can actually see the line we want to be assigning it to. There we go. Or is that brown? I am colourblind, so this is sometimes awkward for me to tell. Has that gone onto the line? Yes, I think it has. I think that is brown. So let's just recolour this a little, just to make sure we have the correct colour scheme for our wagons. There we go. That's better. Okay, so now we've got as far as Mima, up to Futana from Mima. We can think about going up to Kaihoku as well, or Kaihoku. Either way, we're going here next. And again, we have a nice open area right here. We might have to just flatten off a nice level bit of terrain for us to build our station. And I am mindful that we are going to have a bridge over this point here. So we want to set our train station back a little bit so we've got enough room to have a decent run up to get the elevation to bridge over this river. So we'll put our station in this area here. And we'll have the same setup that we had in Futana. We'll set it back a little, like so. Say just there. And before we even connect it, we'll start the train lines leaving from both directions. And we'll keep that level. It will have to drop down eventually, but we have plenty of space to shed off and shave off the elevation that we've gained here. Next thing we want to do is actually construct the bridge that we need. So we'll do that. Will 3 elevation steps be enough to force a bridge? No, it won't. I'll do 3 smaller ones. That's better. Could we perhaps go just 2? Yeah, there we go. We'll go for 2, and we'll have the iron bridge over this river. So we can reset that now back to ground level, and we can connect it into our station. It is still pretty close, but I think it's gonna be okay. Oh, 17%. Oh, it's only going off 10 meters over 300, so I think that'll be okay. We are getting to the stage now where the trains do have a little bit more behind them in terms of power. So I think having a fairly aggressive elevation, not overly so, is going to be more than okay. And where are we heading next? I think we'll go to Matsuno. So from the bridge, in fact, let's connect it into Mima first. That would make a little, not Mima, into Futana. That would probably make a little bit more sense, wouldn't it? Now we need to start bending towards the river. The station at Mima, I keep saying it, at Futana, as we can see, is on the right hand side of the river from our perspective. So we need to cross the river again. So if we come up here, this should hopefully prevent us having to do a manual bridge, because we're going to have a decent enough elevation as it is to bridge over. Let's check it. Yeah, we can. Ooh, I do not like that. That is ugly. That's better. And I think we'll have the bridge stay at a level height. And then after the bridge, we'll have earthworks with the train line heading back down to ground level. There we go. What do we have here? The Schaffhausen. Don't need to concern ourselves too greatly with that unlock. How is this? Is that just one ginormous bridge? Pretty much, but I quite like it. We have a little break in between. We can't do... In fact, let's just get rid of this road and we can rework the road once we've done our train line. So let's try that again. Not by doing that, we won't. Oh, come on, this time. What are you going to do if you go straight in? How are you looking? It's not bad. Is that going to mess up the river? No, it's not. Yep, we'll go for that. It's going down 19 meters over almost a kilometer. So that's fine in terms of a gradient. And then we'll duplicate or double it up. And then we want to put a slip switch, sorry, a diamond switch just over here. And the same up at Futana. No, this is Futana. The same up at Matsuno. Not Matsuno, this is Kaihoku. So a diamond over here. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and put the signals in right now, and we'll pick it back up once the signals are done. Okay, we've got all the signals in now. Let's just take off the worst of the train, not by doing that, but by doing that. Okay, there we go. And now we can amend our northern line, and it's now going to run on through into Kaihoku rather than just from a point to point. So let's find it. So we want N for northern, and then after Futana you're coming into Kaihoku and then back. Wonderful. So the last thing we're going to do for today is get this road connection set up for the new station, and then provide the station with a transportation link into the nearby cities so the passengers or the residents can get to and from the station and give us some nice passenger generation, hopefully. Well, there's our road connections. Wow, you were eager to put those in. Yep, there we go. Let's get ourselves a bus service for Futana. It's only a small town, so a small bus service is going to do. Wow, they're really chucking out the buses. And as we can see, we have some Japanese style bus stops at this point, so I think we're going to go ahead and make use of these. So we're going to have obviously one outside of the station for Futana, and then we'll have one up here, one here, and I think that will do for now. That's got pretty good coverage across the entire town, so no need to go overboard. And we'll just run a simple bus service. And this is bus service 01 Futana Station. And then we'll rename just stop saying that word. Fukuroy Street. We'll rename that to Station Street. Not a very Japanese name, but at least we know where the passengers are heading to. We need a depot, of course, so let's build one of those as well. Put it just there, doesn't really matter. Buy vehicles, passenger, Gaganao, and heck, I'm going to say just one for this. It's only got 3 stops, it's not travelling very far. That's not the correct colour, that is a correct colour. There we go. We need to rejoin this road, so we can do that very quickly right now. A tunnel, yeah, fine, have a tunnel. And we need to put a bus service in for Kaihoku as well, which is a little bit larger. So let's get that taken care of, and we'll use a different style bus stop for this one. We'll just use this style. And we're gonna stop outside of Kaihoku Station, and then we'll come into the industrial district, into the residential district, through to the commercial, over the river, and then from there back to the station. So station, industrial, residential, commercial, river, and then back to station. Brilliant. Let's just rename that to Station Road so we know what it's actually servicing. And this is bus service 01, And this is Kaihoku, I believe that's right. Station. Kaihoku, yep, correct. And again, we'll want a depot out here as well, so we'll build one of those. Road depot, you can go just there. 5 vehicles, Gaggenau. A little bit large this one, so I'll go for 3 of the buses this time out. And they're that slightly pinkish colour. And away they go. So already we've got passengers waiting at Futana to be picked up. 23 heading to Mima, and 1 heading to Kaihoku, so that's wonderful. 23 out of 38 passengers, so that's doing okay so far. At Mima, we have 38 going to Izumimachi, 45 to Sayo, and 1 waiting for the Northern Shuttle service. Okay, I think then that's where we shall leave it. In fact, no, we won't. We'll do one last thing, and that is upgrade our freight vehicles, our trucks, to the Benz, which we unlocked a few moments ago. So what we're going to do is just click on that, get all the delivery or haulage vehicles selected. There we go. And that's where we'll end it here for today, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a ride on our new Northern Shuttle service, which I believe has just left the town of Mima, so that's good timing. So we'll hop on board. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Progressing quite nice, I think now. Money is no longer an issue. Obviously we are on easy mode, so take that with a pinch of salt, of course, but it still means we can just get on and do whatever we want from now on. So yes, thank you very much as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we've just unlocked something there. Let me just pause it. No, we haven't, because it's only December the 23rd. Let's pause the epoch, get back on board, and then we'll get this right this time. Thank you very much for watching and all your ongoing support. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I shall see you in episode number 15, hopefully in just a few days' time. All that remains for me to say now is obviously take very good care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. It's ta-ta for now.